Ladies and gentlemen, I am Max, and this is Cringing Over Coffee. And today in the Cringe Theater, the coffee house main stage, we have an interesting look at somebody that I've certainly had personal interactions with on occasion and have followed their career and their kind of online presence for quite a long time. Uh, as well as their work otherwise. So we're talking about Payday Monsanto, who is an actually really talented rap artist. He's generally in what you might call like the conscious or woke hip hop genre. Unfortunately, the term woke has taken on a different meaning, but back in the day, you'd call woke hip hop people that were talking about like conspiracy theories or political stuff. Common, Immortal Technique are some good examples of this kind of conscious hip hop that's more in the vein of like conspiratorial. And he was one of the better ones in that kind of field, and also one of the ones that was more consistent about it. Aside from maybe Immortal Technique, he was the most consistent. All of his music was about political stuff. He had a very libertarian kind of Alex Jones bent to him. Although I don't think he was the biggest fan of Alex Jones, or maybe he was and then wasn't later on. Regardless, he considered Alex Jones maybe a gatekeeper or something like that. He kind of latched onto and became known around the time of the Ron Paul movement in like 2008 and 2012. Later on, kind of got into some more, I guess, alt-right beliefs. So, you know, content warning. Some of the stuff that today's subject is going to talk about is probably, not okay with YouTube kind of stuff. He has some choice words about gays, particularly Jews, and many other people that he either doesn't like or has a problem with. I don't endorse or denounce any of it. I'm just here to take a look at it. But later on, he has, I think, recently quit rap music or said that he's retired from it to some degree. And he does just YouTube videos, and I want to take a look at those as well. That's kind of why we're here, actually, because if it wasn't for the YouTube video, just the music, he would just be a rapper. But because of the kind of YouTube content he's creating now, here we are cringing over coffee. So, get your coffees out, get your creamer, your sugar, all that ready to go. Because this one's gonna be a thing, So and I might get copy claimed playing his music. I don't care if he claims this video. By all means, if it were to ever generate any ad revenue, he can have it. I am not in it to get paid off a payday. In fact, I hope he gets paid off of it. I hope he gets paid. By all means, ladies and gentlemen, go check out his music on Spotify. Put wherever you can find it. Put some shekels in his pocket. It seems like that would be the right thing to do. And so we're gonna start with this was actually recommended to me just before the show. I was looking for like what's his like old school stuff that's like the most typical of his catalog.
Big theme of his early work is just like 9/11 truth type stuff.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. There was a pivotal moment. See, Payday is like my age, right? He's just around 40 years old, millennial. And we grew up into one world that we were raised into. And then suddenly, right around the time we became adults, 9/11 happened. And it fucked a lot of people up. Like, it fucked society at large up, too, because of the Patriot Act and us going to war. A lot of guys my age fucking dead, overseas. And so, if you got a guy like him, I can understand why he would dig into 9/11. and trutherism and all that. So and if he's a talented rapper, why not mix the two things together? So this song is called Millionaire Patriots. And we're just gonna take a listen. I don't think we're gonna listen to the whole thing just because I don't want to just like blatantly copyright infringe. But we're gonna take a listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last president of the United States of America.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day.
I just want to, before he even gets into his rap, that's very typical of his style, where he will have a long introductory kind of thing, usually with samples of a political nature. But that one is particularly good. I like the kind of uneasy musical accompaniment there, and the build up to the big bass drop. That's pretty good.
Having listened to all of his shows, I really find that to be a thing that I love so much with his music, is that there'll be a sound drop and I'm like, what is that sound drop? And then later on I'll find out where it's from and I immediately think of his work again.
Yeah, I could see that. So let's let the man speak. I went back a little bit so we don't miss his little how he comes in here. And this is as far as I could tell from the mid 2000s, but was re-released in 2011. And yes, you can find this particular track on Spotify, as well as some of his other work, but not all of it.
By night instead of armies by day.
Everything we want to sit and write in our midst, but we don't really give a fuck, that's the twist. Once you fall into the trap, it's a bit. Somebody took a bullet for your right to exist. When they slide that by you, they give you a rifle, your G.I. Joe. Hold on to your Bible, it's about survival. That is what it's read my flow. Everything is gonna be my way. See, I do not play with the CIA. In the dirt is where they must lay. You see, them motherfuckers murdered JFK. But that was also an outside job, just like 9/11 done by the Mossad. No doubt about it. Anybody who had a voice, Martin, Robert, Malcolm, name your choice. I'm on some wild shit this year. You bet your gums I'm in here. It ain't no fun to this, dear. I ain't the one to miss here. I'm on some wild shit this year. You bet your gums I'm in here. It ain't no fun to this, dear. I ain't the one to miss it.
So, this is what I was just saying. I just made a thread on the Medicare.us for this the show and about him in general. And what I said is his rap flow, his rap style, very reminiscent of somebody like the first one that comes to my mind is a bit of like a hip hop enthusiast myself is R.A. the Rugged Man. He has a very similar like vocal projection and kind of flow as Rugged Man, although it's in a completely different vein. Rugged Man's usually more comedic and irreverent, or somebody like Method Man, where so it's the kind of laid back, deep voiced, slow flow, combined with the kind of like pseudo intellectualism, and I don't say that even as an insult to him, but the pseudo intellectualism of kind of conscious hip hop, and it just makes this really good blend. And so I want it to be very clear. I'm, because he might see this and like I have never had a problem with Payday Santo. I'm not just here to make fun of him. But I'm gonna be honest, like, bro, if you're watching this, like, your videos on YouTube can be a bit cringe nowadays. But he's a really talented artist and has a very unique presence about him, is what I'm trying to, get across there. His talent is there, and he makes these songs that are really well put together, produced. He has some good lines in there, like he had the one about the, I don't fuck with the CIA shit. Like, that's good, right? The JFK line. I mean, it's all good, especially when you're talking about that kind of subject matter. And yeah, I mean,
Well, you
this.
have to you
Go ahead.
have to accept any of this kind of conscious rap for what it is, right? Like,
Right.
you just kind of, it's hard not to just like, ooh, wow, and just accept each individual point because it fucking flows. And so you can be more forgiving in the way things are phrased or if they're hyperbolic because the flow, right?
Yeah, like the last thing you want to do when you get involved in any of this like conscious rap stuff is try and, well, actually, right? You never do
Mhm.
that. Like, you just the thing about rap in general, like I said, I've been a lifelong kind of
It's
hip hop
poetry, you know?
head. Yeah, it's you're talking about this person is expressing their perspective on things. And so
Yeah.
like to listen to it adversarially, which I have seen leftists do with conscious rap quite a bit, you're missing the fucking point. So you should, if you're listening to Payday Monsanto, or if you're listening to Immortal Technique, if you're listening to Paris, Paris was like the original conscious rapper, and he did some 9/11 trutherism shit. He did the song about killing George H.W. Bush back in '91. If you're listening to them, you kind of just need to accept that their worldview is a fact in the world that they've created within the song, within the rhymes. And so, for the purpose of this, guys, anybody watching or anything, just accept everything he's saying as a fact or as if it could be, right? And you will find a lot more to love about his music if you do that.
Well, that's what I do love about it is that like even some of his newer stuff and everything, like you just listen to it and the his perspective is one that's just fun to enter,
Yeah.
right?
Well, that's why I have to lay the groundwork, because his newer stuff is maybe going to get us in a little bit of trouble. And I just want to say, like, if that's his perspective, or that's the perspective he's putting on a fucking track, we're just going to accept it for what it is, rather than try and rationalize, justify, argue with, well, actually, they didn't do that, and blah, 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 blah. Well, actually, JFK wasn't a part of a conspiracy. It doesn't matter, right? Did the rhyme sound good? Right? Was it a good punchline? That's kind of what matters in this space. And the reason I'm laying that out there is because some of the shit he's gonna say in later songs, you're just gonna have to accept that that's his perspective and not get upset about it. And hopefully not get me in trouble with YouTube, because I'm not like endorsing it. I'm just saying it's his art, and I'm gonna look at it for what it is. So that was like his 9/11 truther days, his early days. And he moved on to really become sort of entrenched in the Ron Paul revolution period with the backwards love and all that. In 2008, 9, and really came into his own right around, I want to say, 2010, 2011, with the albums he was putting out then. And so I picked a track from that period that I think really kind of typifies it. If you have a suggestion for another one, since you know him pretty well as well, this is music at least, you feel free. But this is called Get Mad, and what I like about this one is it incorporates the what was that guy's name? Beale? The speech from the movie The Network, or just, I think it's just Network, where he's like, I want you to get angry. I want you to get out. And that's like a classic wake up sheeple kind of speech, and he's integrated it into this song in a really cool and fun way.
If you were president, would you work to phase out the IRS? Immediately.
People are only motivated on the edge of their seat now. The things I demonstrated got the world on their feet now. The radio's afraid of those cause they weak now. I'm too autonomous and powerful for defeat now. You better get a new strategy. I'm just a messenger, you wanna point a gun at me. Go ahead and try it and I promise I'll stain you. I bet you wanna blame the weatherman when it rained too. I bet you already had enough, dummy. Tough motherfucking luck, dummy. I'll give you everything you need to straighten up, monkey. What more could your motherfuckers possibly wrong for me? Everything that come out of my mouth is certain. Pay no attention to the man behind the yellow curtain. His journalism is worse than Seymour Hersh. You think I hang with Heckler and Koch the way I hurt those? But I'm partial to the great stylistics. Teddy Pendergrass still
So the one thing to point out, he's got the very classic styled old school beat there. That's really fresh, and it's also he's joking about it, right? Like he's talking about serious issues. He's talking about economic fraud, essentially. He's talking about governmental fraud and deception. He's talking about essentially conspiracy stuff, but at the same time, he's making jokes. He's throwing out one-liners. He's using the names of figures who are engaged in fraud as sort of a punchline in and of themselves. And he's really, he's having fun with it. And that's something you'll see continued into his work, into even his later work. Just a sense of like fun and just having a good time about it, as well as talking about serious subjects. And you may or may not have been cringing at his music thus far up till now. You might think, well, I'm not really cringing over coffee, but we're going to get there. The cringe is coming. I can't lie. As much as I do enjoy Payday, there is some of that.
It is a sad story. Your top 40 rappers is watching your boy. That gets the slap. Get out hip hop, just a ghost of whack rap. That gets the slap. Get out hip hop, just a ghost of whack rap. Nail them all to the cross like a super crucifixion. Balance take a loss like a stupid superstition. I'm coming for the money missing. I put an arrow through your heart, but I ain't Cupid, dummy. Listen, only assembly line like I'm building in parlors. The only thing I'm missing is a couple $1 trillion. That's trillion with a T, you heard? And it's $1 billion just for me, you nerd.
That's fucking fantastic. I'm only missing a couple $1 trillion, reference to obviously the Pentagon and the missing trillions after 9/11. That's trillions with a T, you heard, and $1 billion just for me, you nerd. Like, that's great. That's fantastic. And that's what I mean. Is like, this guy's a talented wordsmith. I don't want everybody to get, because there's gonna be some stuff we're absolutely gonna have to make fun of him, but like, I want it to start with the fact, like, this is a guy who had talent, who was doing something. I mean, he probably could have made more commercial success if he just made, I don't know, like records about smoking pot, right, or whatever it might have been, like some kind of like more mainstream, fun-loving party topic. But he chose to be on about some more serious topics and political stuff, and it absolutely caused him to be targeted for censorship in some cases, particularly with his more recent work. But like, this is a guy with talent, and I don't want it to be kind of forgotten about. And so now we get on to, he gets just a little bit edgier with this one. You are almost certainly going to be familiar with this track. This, as far as I can tell, is his most listened to track, except for the one more that we're going to go over later. But this is one of, I think it's his second most listened to track, and he's getting just a tad more into the edgy area of things. And so this is called Pop Culture. And I'm probably going to have to pause this one more because it's not him I'm worried about copy claiming me on this. It's, whoever owns the Eurythmics catalog is going to probably copy claim this. So I'm gonna stop it I think it's like 25 seconds YouTube will trigger things at, so I'm gonna try and like not get completely copy claimed.
You ready for this? This is some spooky, spooky shit. I'm gonna take this classic and make it Jurassic. Now, listen, I'm not capable of hate. This ain't hate. This is merely a line in the sand.
Yeah, it's not hate. There's no hate in this at all.
You're not gonna militantly push your agenda on me or my clan. You get it?
Yep, that's definitely true, and
You get high by gaze. If you knew, you'd be amazed. What they won't do just to get plays. Everybody's slurping on something. Some of them want to confuse you. Some of them are themselves confused. Some of them want to seduce you. Some of them want to be seduced.
So yeah, yeah. Hip hop is run by gays. This is a theory that I was sort of familiar with. I've heard before, but it's essentially goes back to some shit that Tupac said in the 90s, where who is it? Quincy Jones, I believe, when Tupac met him. Tupac's claim was that Quincy Jones tried to fuck him in the ass. Like he like forced Tupac up against a desk and tried to fucking pull his pants down and shit, and said, "You're well." And you like when Tupac didn't go for it. At least this is the claim. He said, "Well, you're never gonna fucking work in this business again." And then some people have the theory that it's because of that Tupac was killed, and then that Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., because he knew that he didn't have Tupac killed, was going to, expose that no, he got killed because of the gay shit. And so that's why they had him killed as well. And so they're killing rappers to cover up the fact that it's a bunch of like gay producers. And here's the thing too that I think is relevant, considering that the trajectory Payday's music goes on later on. A lot of the biggest name hip hop producers and like record moguls are Jewish. They're very commonly Jewish in New York City. The perfect example is Rick Rubin, but there's certainly more than them. Interestingly enough, like you can't separate the birth of hip hop from Jews. Jews were there from the beginning, running a lot of the record labels, and it's because they're, you could have people have their theories as to why, but I'll tell you the obvious reason why is that there's a lot of Jews in Brooklyn, and there's a lot of hip hop and black culture in Brooklyn, and so those two things, they knew how to monetize it, is all I'm saying.
And I think it's safe to say that like these two sentiments are relatively common among a lot of hip hop guys, right?
Yes, very much
a level of anti-Semitism and certainly like anti-gay stuff,
or just an understanding of like that the money men, a lot of them are Jewish, and it's maybe not even anti-Semitic per se, but it's like, oh, they know like if you want a good manager, you'll get a Jew, right? Because they know.
Well, it was in like money. It was in like literally the NWA movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it? Ice Cube says something about it was Easy said something about you Jews or something, and that I don't have it off the top of my head, unfortunately, but
I mean, but the movie's its own unique thing. Like there is some of that because there's also some crossover with a lot of hip hop culture and Nation of Islam stuff and Farrakhan, and so like
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like Farrakhan was huge in the hip hop scene in the 90s. He's friends with like LL Cool J and some of the old school guys. And so like that's what I mean. Like you can't separate Jews from like the early days of hip hop or the modern days of hip hop. And a lot of that is if you were a young guy trying to make this kind of art in Brooklyn in 1986, The guy who might have the money to finance it is just probably very likely to be a Jewish guy. I don't think it's more, but Payday has his opinion, but I don't think it's more of a conspiracy than that. I think that they just happen to be the guy with the money that you'd go to, or they'd be the guy with the music studio as well. That might, be the case. I mean, because you look at, everybody seems to forget, but like the Beastie Boys were huge in the 80s, literally in the earliest days of hip hop. People would be like,
That
oh, Vanilla Ice or whatever, but like Beastie Boys predated him by almost 10 years.
that or maybe you're part of the conspiracy.
That's it. Now you know. The auto-tune's pretty fresh.
This garbage they sell you, you're eating it up like cordon bleu. It isn't that tough to see right through. Hollywood is pushing agendas.
Facts. Spitting nothing but facts right there. Hollywood is pushing agendas for sure. And that kind of leads us off into, because if I keep playing this, I'm definitely gonna get copy claimed by the Eurythmics. But that leads us into one that you introduced me to, and it combines all of this shit in such a beautiful way that we would be remiss if we didn't look at the Leprechauns.
So this on the timeline, we go from basically 9/11 truth.
Yeah.
Okay. Bush did 9/11 type thing. The Pentagon lost $1 trillion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just lost it, and that kind of stuff. Then we have the evolution of like, okay, it's the Jews, and now this is full metastasization of like, his conspiracy about them.
You skipped 2 steps there. So it started off with
Okay.
9/11 truthing, right? It moved on to Ron Paulism, Federal Reserve, and all of that.
Yeah.
And from there, it moved into the gay agenda in hip hop. And so this is the next step, where he did mention Jews in that song, but like this is the next step. This is the Leprechauns, and it's extremely subtle, like super duper subtle shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally figured it out. At first, we thought it was the Eskimos. But now there's a strong consensus amongst experts. It's an entirely different animal. If I had to name a creature to maim to make the world a better one, there isn't a doubt that I would kick out these dirty, filthy leprechauns. They run in their place right into the ground, so many afraid to step to one. If you grow a sack and focus on facts, you'll have to confront the leprechaun. They're pushing their porn and poisonous corn. It might as well be some methadone. Stop chasing a ghost. I've taken an oath to name these dastardly leprechauns. The leprechauns, the leprechauns. Whatever the crime, you know they're involved. The leprechauns, the leprechauns. Don't worry your mind, the problem's been solved. The leprechauns, the leprechauns. Turn over a rock and don't be surprised. The leprechauns, the leprechauns. If you banish them now, your profits will rise. The million's been sold.
So very subtle, I have no idea who he's talking about there. No, this was his way of like, I'm not gonna name the Jews as like a problem, but I'm totally gonna do exactly that. That's what it is. And and it's funny though. He's still in that mode where this is a funny, playful, like, those dastardly, well, I'm not gonna say it's the Jews. Those dastardly leprechauns. Yeah, that's it. They're pushing their porn and and corn syrup on us, and it's just horrible what they do. Those filthy leprechauns.
Corn syrup. It's just...
You gotta love it. What's the new one with them? I love that there's always like a food-ish conspiracy by like alt weirdos, right? And so back, this was what, 10 years ago, right? So like now, instead of corn syrup is the worst thing in the world, although a lot of them still believe that. It's what is it, canola oil or whatever, or like any oil made from seeds.
Seed oil, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, a bit scary for me because that's most of what I eat. I just drink seed oil, like when I'm working out and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
Your dick's gonna fall off, or so I'm told.
Well, that's the intended
It
effect,
clearly
right?
promotes a cycle of endless debt for one. They've taken your gold and given you notes. Now they do not know where the treasure's gone. The leprechauns, the leprechauns. This is my kind of place. Crooked and sleazy. Stealing your gold is awfully easy. They're curious spies with spurious lies, stealing the secrets for bets bombs to drop on the likes of innocent tykes. Their arms and legs and necks are gone. Their phosphorus dissolves the flesh. Now isn't that something to vex upon? They got the DU and napalm for you. What would we do without these leprechauns? I want me gold. Goyim? Wait a minute. Bad phraseology. Are you anti-Gaelic? The busters of myths have nothing for...
God damn it. Right. So, God damn it. That is a classic fucking line. Yeah, so he's still playful. He still knows what he's doing. He's still like levels of nuance and satire. Like this, this isn't a guy that's losing his mind or anything like that. This is just a fun little fucking song. He's calling out the Jews, obviously. The Goyim didn't give it away at all. And we'll get...
It was just bad phraseology.
Yeah, just bad phraseology. What are you, anti-Gaelic?
for this, and so they turn into Decepticons. The moment you show opponents they know and start to acknowledge the leprechauns, the leprechauns, the leprechauns. You know that they did it, you know that they did it. The leprechauns, you leprechauns. You better get with it, you better get with it. The leprechauns, the leprechauns. You know that they're guilty of sin in the flesh. The leprechauns, the leprechauns. This horse is deceased, I'ma beat it to death. Whenever the Goyim refuse to relinquish the measly gold they might hold, there's always a Gentile in range to blame. You know how the story's been told. It's the leprechauns, the leprechauns. They rob you for all that you got. It's the leprechauns, the leprechauns. They're trying to fill up their pots. You know, in the final analysis, ridicule is my ultimate tool. Cause anybody who believes this mess is the ultimate fool. You feel me? You gotta be out of your fucking mind. Get out of here. And on a side note, you motherfuckers have been throwing the word shill and troll around too much. It's my sneaking suspicion most of the people using these words are shills and trolls themselves. Think about it. All along, it's been the leprechauns. And for you hateful Gentiles out there, remember, the leprechaun is not a fictional creature. It's a real entity that has been depriving you of everything, okay? Remember, the leprechauns. Yeah, you better beware and be on the lookout constantly for that ever-present, omnipotent leprechaun. Such a ubiquitous creature. And in a similar vein, I just want to tell you, I recently purchased some property in New Mexico with such a beautiful view of the Pacific Ocean. Sarcasm off. It ain't the leprechauns, alright? We have an international problem with the cabal, and if you consider yourself among that international cabal, it's time for you to go home.
So, That's a thing. And like he's still able to craft a satire, able to joke around about it. And it's fun, right? And it's happy. And even okay, so this is probably the last like actual song we're going to go for right now. And this is by far his most viewed video on YouTube, as well as song, anywhere else you can find it. I'm pretty sure this one is not on Spotify. I will have to. It's a little less fun. It's a little less lighthearted, a little less what's the word I'm looking for here? Mischievous, and a little angrier. He's got some other guys on here I've never heard of called Luca and Trillion. And the song is called The Golem. But before I play, I want to make sure if I'm correct, if Spotify or not. Yeah, I don't think that it is. He does have a record that came out apparently this year I was unaware of. So apparently he has not quit rapping. So maybe we'll have to look into that, because he put out a record called Climate Change in 2022. Go figure.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so this song here is The Golem, and it's from a previous record taken from the Payday Monsanto LP, and yeah, the video that accompanies it and everything, and take a look.
Revolution is this method of control by which people can be made to enjoy a state of affairs which, by any standard, they ought not to enjoy. This I mean the enjoyment of servitude. The scientific dictatorships of the future, and I think they're going to be scientific dictatorships in many ways.
You're gonna have to turn your television off if you really want to know what's going on. But it ever pleases, the great harlot has become drunk with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. Burnt offerings got you altering your thesis. Trauma-based mind control keep you chasing golden fleeces. Don't let them snatch you out your wagon. To escape you'll need a chariot drawn by fire-breathing dragons. To see the big picture you simply must imagine the horror of Babylon and the Miss America pageant. Smirking at you fervently with a certainty, giggling at the goyim, secretly calling them serpent seed. Cursedly gazing upon every man, breathing so eager to ban freedom, reading from the Sanhedrin, guarding the world's fifth largest arsenal. 400 warheads unofficially, you can't see them. Hell bent to conquer a land that's stolen. They created a monster, now they can't control them. They're golem. You would have to stretch your imagination. Blood profiteers have taken over your nation.
So, a little serious, a little more explicit in what he's saying, but still well written, well produced, still with some killer lines, still some bars. Just wanted to point out like this, he has not like lost a step, and like for consistency's sake, I do think we will listen to like one of his newer songs after this, just so we get the full circle. Because once we start looking at his YouTube videos, this rabbit hole gets really fucking weird.
Savage from the Zohar, a savage who likes to bullshit on Sabbath. In it with witches, just to worship the planet Saturn. Talmudic euthanizer, shoot the two-timer. But Rothschild shield, a name change, new attire. Judeans conspiracy through the fire. Luke don't bite his tongue, he puts it through the wire. Literally atomic bite like Dracula. Finance from Kimberly diamond mines in Africa. It's a nuclear day, but the troops in the way. Stronghold molded from nuclear clay, the golem. Solely built to kill the goyim, deploy them. Holy shit, how you
guess that's one of the other guys. But yeah, so you kind of see where he's at. And here, the thing about the newer music that he's put out is, I'm just gonna be unable to fucking play it on YouTube to give you any visual. However, I am going to play it just straight off Spotify. So this is a song from this year. It's called Climate Change. You can find this one on Spotify. You're not going to find the stuff about the Jews on the entire album he did about the Jews. And yes, he did an entire album about the Jews. I believe in 2016, I want to say, was released. Is banned off Spotify. I don't believe you'll be able to find it on like iTunes or anything like that. The videos are all on YouTube, but you kind of got to know what you're looking for. As you can see by my search term here, I actually had to specifically search this song, even though this is his most viewed video on YouTube of all time. I still had to search the song because, yes, ladies and gentlemen, Payday Monsanto does get a little bit of censorship, and by a little bit, I mean quite a bit. And so you can see how that, combined with some of his more conspiratorial beliefs, might lead somebody to, let's just say, a little bit of paranoia. So, to finish out the musical section of this, because it's gone on for quite a while now, we're going to listen to, this is Climate Change, released just this year. I haven't heard it. This is the first time I'm hearing it. If it's full of, like, stuff that's, not good for YouTube, I guess I'll stop it and apologize, but, like, here we go.
The global warming alarm is dressed up as science. But it's not science. It's propaganda.
I love to party with the new world order. Ain't it grand? Ain't it grand? Kissinger, that's my man. Brzezinski got the plan. He got the Rockefeller keeping Manhattan vibrant. Are you familiar with some of these names I say? They've been controlling your life all over. I've been studying these creatures who've been working for a long time, lurking in the shadows, and they're working for the wrong kind. Never in my travels ever come across the more crime-ridden gaggle of jokers. Now this could be the all-time. They love to blast girders, torture sheep and ass herders, steal a couple trillion, man. I'm telling you, they class burglars. No doubt could be cast of violence. See that as unheard of. They got away with robbery, racketeering, and mass murder. World is going up in flames, and nobody wants to take the blame.
I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad.
It's a really fast flow.
Yeah,
it's a little drum and bassy.
That's for sure. Yeah, it's a little more like, I guess, modern, right? Usually he goes with old school beats. And it has filters over his voice, which is interesting because that's what I want to get into now. So this is Payday Monsanto's YouTube channel. This is from or his backup channel, one or the other. This is from May 10th, so this year. And when you talk about filters, he's got a penchant for filters. This is a video entitled "Are You a Targeted Individual?" And I think it's kind of an example of what kind of content he produces on YouTube.
To play my cards right, wait for the right moment. And when I really just couldn't
strap the fuck in is all I can say.
Tolerate it anymore. When I found out just how out of control it was, I decided to object to my superiors in person. But within SIS specifically, what happens is they are experimenting on their own employees. So it's a long story. I'll try to get through it quick. But basically, people are selected from all over the country. We're talking other cities all over America. They are selected for many different reasons. Often it is because they are isolated. They don't have a lot of money, friends, or family. And they also tend to be people that are highly, highly intelligent. The aspects of this technology that they're interested in
It's crazy. So I am familiar with this clip. A lot of targeted individual types will play this clip, and it's wild how all of the things he just described about the type of people. So that's obviously not Payday. This is somebody claiming to be a whistleblower from a government agency that's basically, the one responsible for gang stalking. And he is describing a certain type of individual. And if you notice, it's the same type of individual, highly intelligent, kind of a loner, not a lot of people around them, and geared towards being a bit more on the paranoid side. It's, strangely enough, the same kind of person who is prone to full-blown schizophrenia. It's, I mean, you could take this a couple ways, right? You could say that, these people are just schizophrenic and they're not actually being targeted, or that there is no such thing as schizophrenia and all of these people are actually being targeted by a governmental agency.
Well, Max. Just because you're paranoid schizophrenic doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
True. And
right?
And so Payday's thing, it seems, and we can kind of speak to this because we've watched a lot of, probably more of his content than anybody in the world. Let's be real, except him. Aren't you like a mod in his chat?
No.
No. Oh no, that was the other guy. Yeah, that was what's his face. I thought it was you, but no. Regardless, yeah, he puts out these videos and these like live streams, and it'll be like, do you see that? And you'll be like, no, I don't. What are you talking about? And he puts like a chroma key filter on, and he's like, right there, you all see it, right? That's the nanobots. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking
inside
about?
like the clouds, right? I remember one of this live streams that he did is like, so he was literally just staring like straight up into the clouds and then having like all those filters on it.
Sometimes it's the clouds, sometimes it's the bushes, sometimes it's the concrete, sometimes it's his face, like this clip here. And it's like like this video right here, you're supposed to see something here. I'm not sure what, right? But like I know we're supposed to see
have
it.
to do with cognitive processes, processing information, and as a result, they want highly intelligent people to be targets of this program. They also tend to target people who are into what I would call alternative research, commonly called maybe conspiracy theories, people that disagree with the government, people that are into researching things like 9/11. Also, they are interested in people that are interested in technology. I have found a high percentage of targeted individuals to be people who either are interested in or have information on highly advanced technologies, usually having to do with directed energy weapons and frequency weapons, the exact kind of weapons that we're talking about here. That
I don't know why he's tied a T-shirt to his face though. Like that's the part that doesn't make
used in voice to skull and behavior modification. There's many other aspects to the technology. But once these people are selected, they will have the entire gang stalking / voice to skull program run against them. This is
voice to skull. That's an interesting one too. He does believe in voice to skull, as far as I'm aware. Now, voice to skull technology is a theory I don't run into with a lot of these. And like we did like a real deep dive into the gang stalking shit on stream.me, but that episode no longer exists, so I'll probably do another one, a more up-to-date and modern one. But a lot of targeted individuals actually don't do the voice to skull shtick. It seems to be a particularly rare one. But the idea is that the government has radio broadcast towers that can broadcast people's voices over airwaves directly into your brain. Right, and they call it voice to skull technology, and so a lot of times they will say, they'll hear voices, and they'll say that these voices are the voice to skull technology. Now, obviously, you know, the official explanation is that these people have schizophrenia. But we know better, goddammit. We know that the government has voice to skull technology in the radio towers, and that's why they want 5G everywhere. Obviously. I'm gonna fucking get banned. I'm gonna get fucking banned for even just like sarcastically perpetuating these conspiracy theories.
I knew it. I knew that I heard those voices. It's not that I'm crazy. I just knew it.
I'm calling DHS, bro. I'm gonna tell them you're
exposing the plan,
perpetuating wrongthink. Yeah.
So,
yeah, that one bitch that's in charge of disinformation. I'm gonna tweet her about it.
So this is another video, and I think this is a little more like akin to what I'm talking about when it comes to Payday. So obviously you saw there, he showed you, you know, his eyes and then the chroma keyed version, and you're supposed to see something there that he definitely sees. Whether you see it or not, he sees it, and he can't fucking fathom why you don't. And it kind of pisses him off. Sometimes he gets angry. Like if you go in chat and you're just legitimately, honestly like, bro, I can't see what you're seeing, he does get angry, and a lot of times he'll end the stream. And look, I get it, because if he actually sees it and you don't, that could be immensely frustrating. So I'm not like trying to like in all of this, like I hope he doesn't think like I'm targeting him, because I actually really respect his work. But I can't help but like laugh at some of this shit. And so this is like him also trying to explain to you. The title of this video is Chroma Key Reveals the Metaverse That Has Been Foisted Upon an Unsuspecting, Trusting Public. And so let's take a look at the chroma key. So this chroma key, guys, is going to reveal the metaverse and that we're, you know, in the Matrix, right? Because he's moved on from nanobots now, and he mostly talks about like metaverse and like Matrix stuff.
They have surreptitiously stolen your son. See what's going on there?
Did you see what was going on there?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You're just another fucking sheep. I mean, you see that obviously, right? Like it's so fucking obvious, you know? Look at this. It's fucking a glitch in the Matrix.
See that? They have surreptitiously stolen your fucking sunshine. Mr. and Mrs. America.
See, that's smart. He's got one of them magnet bracelets, and he runs it over his skin to try and get the nanobots out. He's very wise in doing that. Y'all probably didn't even know that's what he was doing.
You see all this shit swirling around me? You know how they hide it? Make more of it. That's their That's their method of hiding it. Is this just make more, put it everywhere. So where it's needed, where you see where it's at, it doesn't stand out. So just put it everywhere, even where it's not needed. It goes against their. It goes against their tenets, their principle of efficiency and waste. It's dead antithetical to it. And hopefully that's among the things that allows us to identify them and pull them out of the crowd. They're trying to hide amongst us. They're trying to hide among the normal people.
They're fucking among us, guys. We got imposters in our midst.
Among the people who aren't, fucking with other people's breath and body and bodily autonomy. Hopefully that'll allow us to detect them and punish them accordingly. Because we know what happens to these kind of people who do this. If the courts take too long, they get pulled out of the courtroom. Leo Frank. If the people are dissatisfied with the proceeding and how long it's taking, they get pulled out of the fucking courtroom. You're taking too long, Judge. We know the verdict. We got the verdict already. We don't have to. All this fucking decor is unnecessary. We're gonna hang the motherfucker.
That's how you get rid of imposters, no? I don't know. All I can think of is like, we should be making Payday Monsanto / Among Us memes at this point. I mean, he clearly thinks that his elbow proves a lot. And I'm, all sarcasm and irony aside, I have no idea what he sees that I don't. I see that he's put a filter on, a chroma key filter, and so in that filter, like, things look a little weird, and in his mind, that's confirmation of like some kind of thing that's happening, like probably nanobots or something. And like that they just create more to hide what's there, and that that is somehow how they've taken over the whole world. I'm not really sure the ins and outs. But what I see, like, as an honest person, like, just commentating on this, is like a really smart and talented artist that's kind of lost his mind. Kind of sad.
This is why they hide. So they make it such a point to hide. And their plausible deniability is very important to them. These clowns went overboard. One just he said he had a heroin overdose. And I said, that was an underdose, motherfucker. If you had an overdose, means, I wouldn't hear your voice. You go take some more heroin, motherfucker. You had an underdose.
I'm gonna use that from now on, though. The underdose thing is great. Like, that's a fantastic line, and I'm gonna tell people that from now on. Like, if so, that's the new way to tell somebody to off themselves, right? It's like, nah, man, you need to go. You took an underdose. You need to go take an overdose.
Absolutely based.
The magic of chroma key. The magic of chroma key. This is my metaverse. It's been with me for a long time. They gang stalk in the metaverse. My metaverse is a prison. I'm a dangerous motherfucker to these people. They don't like me. They're scared of me. They're frightened of me. Petrified, even. So much so that they do this. See this? This surrounds me. You too now. You too. Try it. Put some chroma on. Huh? Magical, ain't it? Not a filter, motherfuckers. It's not a filter.
So, like, I said before, you know, if you want to entertain the world of the artist, right? It's like accepting their worldview as legitimate is kind of a good way to start. And so let's say I accept his worldview and I look at it like just objectively as like a guy that's willing to have an open mind about this kind of thing. The immediate question that comes up is if chroma key is this magical answer to this is like how you could cut through the veil, you can see what's behind the curtain, and it exposes everything, right? Like he does seem to think that that's the case. Why would they allow it to be like mass produced on every consumer product available to every schmuck in the world? If it like it would threaten their gang stalking empire or whatever. It just doesn't follow logically, but I don't think that logic is what he's operating on here. I think he's operating on some mental health issues.
Also, another thing, notice that he's also doing it like on very hard, like LED or like very bright lights, in order to go ahead and put on that filter to make it look that way.
It doesn't matter. Like if you put on a chroma filter in anything, like you try too hard, man. No, it doesn't matter. You're gonna see these little kind of like spots because it's just the nature of the filter, right? You're filtering the image digitally. It's going to fucking alter the image and make it look like a thing. And now he thinks it's cutting through the kind of facade and you're seeing the real thing underneath. I think it's exactly the opposite of that. But like, I don't want to sit here and just pile on the guy because I like, as I demonstrated before, I started with, this guy's really fucking talented. He's funny. He's charismatic. He's a good, artist and musician. So I don't want to sit here and just like, beat on him to death because it's actually sad to me how far he's fallen. It is funny though. It is funny. Like, I can't lie. Like, it's funny. Some of the things he says are funny. He definitely has even now, he has an interesting way of looking at things, and that's why it's so fascinating to me. I mean, well, I'm not going to diagnose him, but like people who have schizoid-ish tendencies fascinate me just generally. I guess this is like another like Maniac Monday edition, but he has these really unique ways of looking at things. And like I say, the underdose thing, right? That's such a unique thing to say. I've never heard anybody refer to an underdose of heroin before. Have you? Has anybody?
Not really, and like I said, I haven't said it yet, but he's a really cool cat. Like, not too bad. He's a very talented artist.
He's all right. He's all right. Like I say, if he had made like pot smoking records or whatever, he'd probably have like a platinum album or two by now. But he didn't. He didn't because that wasn't him. That would have been him selling out. And here he is, showing you his elbow.
It's electromagnetic. It's electromagnetic.
Looking homeless.
We're gonna round these un-American war criminals up. Soon.
And Fed posting. Great. Thanks. Thanks, Payday. That's what I needed. was all after all the fucking Jew posting songs, I also needed some Fed posting, you know. Just really round out this broadcast and make sure that it is as unfucking YouTube friendly as possible. I love it. I love doing this kind of stuff. And so this is from last year, October 6th, 2021. They have waged psychological warfare on the general public. And he commented, once one understands the fundamental manner their perception has been tampered with, one has no aversions to actions once believed unnecessary and even unthinkable. On the most basic level, I've been violated by the very tyrannical weasels described in my music. We've just looked into who those weasels are, and my mind has been raped on a daily basis since July 2019 at the latest. I have had my actions, movements, thoughts, and most private moments monitored and mapped. I have been used to fine-tune instruments of tyranny that will be streamlined in the coming mind war when the IoT is formally implemented and certain swaths of the public understand what's happening and decide to take solemn umbrance with it. So yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's what he said. So let's take a look at the video. Once again, you got kind of a chroma key filter going on. Zoomed in on his face and eyes, which seems to be kind of a common theme with him.
Make no mistake. This is a nano swarm. This is a nano glove. My legs. Every part of my body is surrounded in their nano. And it's not for fun. It's not for the video game. They're frightened to death of me. That's all nano. Well, not all nano. Any design or insignia. You see that? I don't know what that says at this point. I don't give a fuck. Probably some permutation of P-A-Z-E. See that? They gave me a nose job. Nano. If they have to put one of the biometric points there. Tip of the nose, very important. You got one too. Make no mistake about it. You have one too. If you didn't get the vaccine, you might have two. One in, well, I'm not gonna joke. Now, we're gonna do an experiment. Watch what happens when I touch the surface of any part of my skin. It's energy in the air, Payday. Go ahead, you say that. Say something stupid like that. If you're even real.
Oh, that's another thing. Is so he gets trolled by chat a lot. You know, there's like 5 or 6 people that also find him entertaining and they like to fuck with him. And he's not sure if they're real people or bots. But as you know, if you watched my main channel recently, you might have seen that I think most of the internet is bots anyway. So he might actually be right about that. I just want to be clear that he might be being trolled by bots. Who even fucking knows? Certainly I've fucked with him in chat, so some real people will, but yeah, he thinks the chat's like fake and that they're part of like the gang stalking program. And so he actually responds to that logically, because the logical response, if they're there to just torment you and be a part of this like gang stalking kind of full spectrum program that's going on, the best thing to do is not let them get to you. And he doesn't, to his credit. He usually doesn't ban people either. I've seen him ban people, but he usually doesn't ban. He's a pretty good sport.
That's pretty commendable.
Payday. Say something stupid like that. Or you're taking your meds, Payday. Say something stupid like that. See, they gave me a nose job in this. Yeah. They ain't saying shit to me. Well, they will, I'm sure. Because I'm going to start taping everything. You can hear this in the back. All I have to do, if I hear it, is mouth it. And just like for the same reason that I hear it, and you know, you can't, you'll also hear it. Because I also feel it. I feel the meter, the ELF, and other things maybe, perhaps, if the situation is ideal, maybe a meter, if I'm in a certain environment. But I'm going to show you, when they say something, you'll be able to hear it a little bit, but you won't be able to make it out until I mouth it. See, this thing is all about yin and yang, and how much of something you can see, hear, touch, taste, smell, feel, with equal parts.
Speaking of things that you can hear, I don't know if anybody else has got like a good set of headphones like me, and so maybe it's just me, but there's definitely either a person or a dog snoring in the background of this video. Am I the only one?
I hear it.
Yeah, it's either a person or snoring, or like a dog snoring or growling or something. It's just interesting. He's talking about like hidden fucking sounds and shit.
Yin and yang. And you can't hear with just the yin or just the yang. You know, or see, taste, touch, whatever. You understand that? The art of subtle is what I call this thing. They're talking to me in a very aggressive, they're screaming. It's called street theater, okay? Now, sometimes it sounds like there's a stadium. No one can hear it. And if those who can, they're like, yeah, yeah. You understand it's 2021, motherfuckers? Do you see how noisy shit is? It's quite noisy, I would say, huh? Why? Ask yourself why. Why are light bulbs going in 2021? Why is a refrigerator, when you go into a gas station, truck stop, convenience store, going America?
God damn it! I need to cut that out and add that to my soundboard.
Is being gang stalked, and I hate to say it. Some of us get it. Some of us who get it aren't being directly affected by this because they have other, and they're not acting upon it because they have other things to juggle. See this comic book? This shows how fucked up they've done me. This is the Justice Department. I see people with nano masks. Everyone has one. One lady at the Goodwill, you can see it on my other channel, turned around and grew a pig snout. Nano mask. She was a fat lady. Her gang stalkers didn't like her that day, at least, and gave her a pig snout. All day she was wearing a pig snout. Okay?
That is so, like, based gang stalkers, right? Like, like they're like, oh, I gotta stalk this big fat lady. I'm gonna make her fucking nose into a pig snout. Like, that's, I mean...
Oink, oink, oink.
See, the thing is like, his universe, the lore that he's laying down, if true, would be fucking a hilarious universe to live in. You gotta give him that.
America is being gang stalked. Those who don't notice it are you have to be absolutely stupid. See that? That's just a regular blanket. There's no menacing face on this blanket. By any means. And this will change. This is holograms everywhere. I'm being gang stalked with holograms and other things, I would imagine. But you have to be absolutely bona fide idiot, lost in space cadet land, if you don't see something's going on in America. Now, most of you don't. The few of you who do, it's not bothering you directly. They're reading my mind, motherfuckers, and telling me what I'm thinking. There we go. We're going to deal with this one for a minute. They're reading my mind and
I wouldn't want the job to read his mind. I'm gonna be honest. That'd be a very difficult fucking job. That'd be a weird job.
telling me what I'm thinking. It's absolutely, that's interesting. Look at that. There's my name on my head. They're reading my mind and telling me what I'm thinking. They're seeing through my eyes and telling me what I'm seeing. They're feeling what I feel and telling me what I'm grabbing, how much pressure I'm applying to it, how I'm stroking it, and what fingers I'm using. These people are absolute scumbag weirdos. You wouldn't think a group of cretin miscreants exist to fill this purpose. Bill, I'm sorry, I'm gonna kill you now. We were just fuck you, dude. He was just trying. This guy, these people were just acting like they were going to leave rape indicia with my girlfriend while she was and make her wake up feeling raped and call the police on me. That's how we do it, Payday. I said, whatever.
Okay, I'm trying to like think and really understand what he's saying here. So again, we're now in his universe, right? So like assuming everything he's saying is true and just kind of living in that space. So the gang stalkers are terrified of him and they really need to like bully him into submission. And so their strategy on this given day he's talking about is they implanted a memory in his girlfriend so that she would wake up feeling like she was raped and with the need to call the police. I think that's what he's trying to express. I hope so, because I don't want to at all suggest or have it inferred from this video that he's done anything wrong, unless he has. Like I'm not so sure. It's just like he's talking about raping his girlfriend, and I just want to make sure I got this right because it's a little confusing. I'm sorry that I'm like, stupid and brain dead, Payday. It's like I don't see a lot of what you see, so I'm trying to make sense of it and look through your eyes, and you're not quite able to express everything to me in a way that makes sense, if that follow.
I don't think they were going to do that to me. It's absolute absurdity, but they were showing me how they do it, and just the fact that they were making my girlfriend go, twitch, 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 and she's going, yeah, and they're going to die if I ever find them. And now the temperature, that's a blessing in disguise. They made my phone real hot unnecessarily. This phone don't get hot. It's just one thing here, unnecessarily. And then what it did was dim the light and cause this to happen. So do you see what happens with the dimming of the light, or just modifying the brightness, tint, contrast? You see that? Well, they marry their horse. Unfortunately, they've gone mad, and they're the ones who control the asylum. Okay? Unfortunately, they are the ones who get to send you to the insane asylum, and they run it. And they're up there marrying their horse. You have no idea what has transpired over the last couple quarantines and lockdowns that you people went to sleep for. While you were sleeping, some shit's been happening. This is paper camera. I use this to detect nanos. It'll never fail me. I'm sure there's other things out there, but I'm going to have this for my life. It'll never fail you in detecting nanos and things that you don't see around you. Lights on, rats out, motherfuckers. They marry their horse.
They marry their horse. You know? Definitely don't want to do that. I don't like the shorts because they're short, you know. Let's find ones with good good names. Video FOK 1994 with My Bane in the Trees. The program ain't stupid, it gives mad degrees. See, he's even spitting bars in his YouTube video titles. Fuck's sake, bro.
Sorry. My folk don't understand, so my mind won't allow me to not be curious. Yeah, people, it's gonna be a slowdown. My mind won't allow me.
Yes, he sees something in the trees of this video.
It's to reel you in and be like, yo.
Sometimes he doesn't talk in these videos. I just wanted to make sure he had something to say here. I guess there's nanobots in that guy's
I used to write SCB when I was fucking, 14, 15, 16 years old, and they write SCB and right next to my name, PAZER. One tag is just how I type. It's like it came from a specific tag on a wall that I wrote on right across the street from my fucking house, like an idiot, when I was 13, 14. And it's the same tag, PAZER is in the mesh. So it's like an homage. It's to reel you in and be like, yo, Payday, we fucking love you, while we control you and constrain you and restrain you and fine-tune our fucking machine on you, motherfucker. Because since you're the New World Order Slayer and stuff like that, you know, who better? This thing was made for you, Payday. That's what they might as well be saying. That's what I say, and they agreed with it. This thing was made for me. It was made just for people like me. Maybe me specifically, because there's a component called PDMS in the nano restructuring system. PDMS, they call it. It's whatever it stands for there, polydimethyl sulfide, whatever. Payday Monsanto. It's like a joke almost, but you know, I say that's just a coinky dink, not a conspiracy theory.
Just a coinky dink.
But if it's made for me, then I passed the test with fucking flying colors because I'm virtuous as they come, baby. And the New World Order knows that. They know every thought I've ever had, heretofore. Every thought I've ever had up to now, they know it, if they need to. And they know that I'm one of the most virtuous motherfuckers, perhaps, that, you know, that's ever been in their system. I probably put most cops that they put through this thing to shame, who don't know that they're being put through it, that is, because, you know, or you really can't help it even if you do know. Whatever the standard for correlating the data and collating the data and making it match according to knowledge of the system and not knowledge, and how much information, and you know, if you're naked in the shower or you're just in the sauna, how much they see of you and how much you know they see of you. I'm one of the most virtuous motherfuckers ever, I think, in the system. Up there. They even said something like this number, 19. They gave me a number that kind of correlated with, I forget how it works out with the system. You know, but that aside, it's like, what the fuck, man?
I agree. This is all very much like, what the fuck, man? Like, I'm trying, ladies and gentlemen, to put myself in the mindset, like I said from the get-go, and just accept that this guy's worldview is correct for the sake of art, but I'm not sure what it is. except that they know everything about him, but also he's smarter than all of them at the same time. It's very common among people with schizotypal personalities. So,
And also, I mean, it's not a coherent thought.
what are you talking about? Everything is perfectly coherent. So I guess his claim here, trying to accept it, is that when he puts this filter on, I imagine like he probably has his phone on with the filter, and he looks at like everything through his phone, looking for like hidden messages and shit, right? But from what I gather, he sees something in these trees here that looks like a gang type tag that he would have made, like a spray paint tag that he would have made outside his house when he was a kid. And in this rap music video that he is by a band or a group that he liked, it was there from 1994. So it's a specific message from like the Illuminati New World Order or whatever to him, that they know, that he knows, right? That they're on to his game and he's on to theirs and all that kind of shit. See, I follow, it's coherent. It's sort of coherent. I try, man. I try. What's this? You American war criminal gang stalking live in the metaverse. Gang stalked in the metaverse. He really has latched on to metaverse, kind of like he latched on to nanobot. He latches on to certain terms and like uses them repeatedly. This guy, Tony Pantellerescu, is not the final word on shielding yourself from electromagnetos. Well, let's see. This guy's a fraud.
Add an alligator clip to the wire.
This is for my friend Organic Me and people like him who recommend these kinds of videos.
And then we're now going to crimp that wire. We're going to smash it, baby.
This is fucking meta as fuck, because he's now doing commentary on some like weirdo on the internet, and I'm doing commentary on him doing commentary on a weirdo. It's very meta.
As you can see, Mr. Pantellerescu has nano all over him, including in his face, and they're making him appear to have buck teeth.
Nobody's born different. You were created. Keep that in mind. You weren't born the way you are. You were made the way you are. Say you got an extra hormone or extra genetic or an extra gene that was put there on purpose. Okay, so what we're doing now is basically we splice the wire, add an alligator clip to the wire, and then we're now going to crimp that wire. We're going to smash it, baby. Okay, so what we're doing now is basically we splice the wire, add an alligator clip to the wire, and then we're now going to crimp that wire. We're going to smash it, baby. Add an alligator clip to the wire, and then we're now going to crimp that wire. We're going to smash it, baby.
I hate to rain on your parade, but this guy doesn't know how the game is played.
Based. Based and schizo-pilled. Like he has the real info on how to, protect yourself from the New World Order. This guy's just a fraud. Just a fucking fraud. I'd really love some of him interacting with other people, but you don't get a lot of that. And I guess I didn't dive deep enough. I apologize to find any of that. But because now I'm just like looking and seeing what he says. Walk and talk, having coffee with nanotech. Cool. So we can cringe over coffee like in a meta way too. Except his audio is garbage. He posted 30 minutes of it. Well, that's a shame. Lithium niobate, aka neural dust. I'm not familiar with neural dust. Let's let him introduce us to neural dust.
Just for the record, understand this is nanotech doing this to my eyes. Et al. Please don't buy into any of the lies. At this point, they're paper thin and egregious, and they equate to the enemy of humanity. The tactics altogether. That's the sum. It's not even a judgment. Just a fucking observation, man. It's very simple to make. Some people let the truth fall where it may, like a Plinko chip. And others cover the truth up and sprinkle lies all over it. And that's what we happen to be experiencing right now. Well, all of us are, trust me. I can only speak for myself. And they're basically using the drug delivery system of the future as a torture tactic to put lenses in your eye. So you see things shaded differently. Well, not shaded, but, you know, they look different. They take on the appearance of something they're not. And it sounds bizarre, but trust me.
It does sound bizarre, though.
Yeah, if you don't think my word's gospel, you shouldn't be watching this. Not when I'm talking with this service.
I said, bro, like at the outset, I'm accepting his word as gospel for the sake of art.
Dude, it's just a thing. It's a respect thing at this point. You don't tell me to make music, Payday. You're nuts. You've lost your mind. But I like your music. No, it doesn't work that way. You can't. They're inextricably related. My music and my words that I say, because they really are the same thing. If you don't subscribe to my words when I speak, why the fuck would you want to listen to my music?
He's got a fucking point, right? Like all those little assholes who go into his chat and they're like, "Oh, Payday, you've lost your mind. You should just make music. I want to hear your music." It's like, if you think he's crazy, why do you want to listen to his fucking music then? No, he's right.
Got a decent point.
Mm-hmm. Metal lens. Hence why they call it metal lens. Metal means outer. I think I still haven't checked. Outer, upper, outside. I have no idea. Don't matter. I've been bombarded for quite a while now with some shit called lithium niobate.
Mm-hmm.
And is also known as neural dust. Just an FYI, so have you. Don't get it twisted. You just haven't displayed the opposition that I have because you probably don't know about it. You haven't detected it. I like hot mics. I record shit. I'm curious. I'm pretty observant. I detected them. And I thought that I was just detecting them. They were watching me all along. And you can see the truth dust. Quote, truth, I actually call it deception dust. You can see it falling. Clearly.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, I see all the neural dust.
And there's the nano. And yeah, they deliver lenses. Lenses. And I'm all lensed up, apparently. good rest of whatever you're having. Enjoy the play, but remember, it's just a show. Lights on, lights out.
Yeah, man. He had some points in there. I'm still not sure what the neural dust is.
My question is like maybe he hasn't had like a lot of interaction like throughout the whole pandemic part of it. Like,
bro, he was
not
like this way before the pandemic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like he was like this. I want to say like about 5 years ago. Me and Shmuley and that one other guy. He made the other guy a mod. Thought it was Shmuley, but no, it was that redneck guy. Him. He made him a mod in his fucking chat. This is like this channel seems to go back to just like pandemic shit. But like he was making videos exactly like this in, I want to say, at least 2018. It might even be before that. And even in one of his videos we just watched, he mentioned it was July 2019 or whatever at the very latest when this started. And I would say that timeline is about accurate. He's been making videos like this well before the pandemic. Well before. Yeah, I don't think it's that. I don't know what's going on with him. And of course, there's always the possibility that he's just right about all this shit. And that we're just, we're those dumb people. At least I am, because I'm that dumb person that doesn't see what's going on, and he's the smart one. And so, like, me laughing at him is ironic in the end, right? That could be the case. I won't rule that out. And so here he has, this is titled Respiratory Illness, Flatulence, GI Issues, Erectile Dysfunction, Nanotech, the Sickness Industry.
Shit shouldn't be this way. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum. You fucking joking. Da-da-da-da-da. All this nanotech is all over my face. What the fuck is going on? This is just a disgrace. It shouldn't be this way. If you think that shit can't read your mind, you must be out of those. If you think that
I wish he didn't peak his mic so bad. You could hear what he fucking actually singing there.
responsible for the sickness industry. Look at that. Yeah. And they won't let me play it. They're stopping me up. This thing was playing smoother than Rady's bottom. If you think this motherfucking thing is not smothering me, and one, and two, capable of reading my mind, yours too, it's on YouTube. Three, am responsible for the fucking sickness industry because it gives me gas, it can make my heart palpitate, it can make my erection go up or go down, but they try, but they can't do it because my prowess is too fucking, just too much for them. These people are control freaks the whole week, and they don't take a day off, okay? I promise you, motherfuckers. Now look, this shit ain't even playing. You gotta be out of your fucking oxycontin picking mind, dude. Look at that. That's outside. And we're gonna do more. That shit
Out of your oxycontin picking mind. See, he still comes with this fucking shit that's hilarious. I'll go with two more short ones. So, swimming in the toxic electromagnetic soup of MIT, Berkeley et al. Wearing a gas mask? Hard to even say at this point. Yeah, that looks like. Like, wow, lights react weird in chroma key. For the odds. Proves something. Proves, it's not even a gas mask either. He's got like a plastic bag over his mouth and like swimming goggles.
Yeah, it's skiing goggles and a plastic bag over his face.
That's what I just said. Does anyone know what the gaseous substance swirling around my face is? I'm gonna say it's probably nanobots. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm glad Payday has made more music. That was a nice discovery in this, and I hope he keeps making these videos and waking up the sheeple to what's really going on out there, even if I'm too stupid to fucking understand it fully myself. He's out there fighting the good fight, and they're afraid of him, and that's why they need to silence and suppress him, and gang stalk him, and read his thoughts, and implant feelings of being raped into his girlfriend's mind, and control his erection. Like they give him gas. He said so. So I'm glad he's out there speaking the truth. I hope things work out for him, and I just want to give a big shout out to Payday and all his fans. And that's probably it for today. Did you have any final thoughts, sir? Okay, too late.
No.
And so with that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna catch you tomorrow. I definitely have something lined up for tomorrow, but I'll let you know later. Until then, Payday Monsanto is out there. You can find his shit on YouTube. It's tough to find these videos. Like you have to dig through a mountain of shit to find his actual YouTube channels. But it's because he's getting banned and suppressed, and so you should get out there. You should support his music. So, I'm not even kidding. Go listen to his back catalog of music on Spotify. Put some fucking coins in this man's pocket. He deserves it. He's a talented artist. And yeah, we will catch you tomorrow.